Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a huge question for any organization. How do those big, ambitious plans actually get done? We're exploring the critical connection between a company's strategy and its projects. Basically, how they turn a blueprint into reality.
So just think about it for a second. A company makes a big announcement, right? Maybe they're going to become way more sustainable or they want to completely take over a new market. But how? How does that big, lofty goal actually trickle down and become something real, something tangible?
Well, the answer is this super important and honestly often overlooked link. You can think of it like a bridge. It connects the vision from the boardroom to the actual work people are doing every day. It's all about directly aligning a company's strategy with its projects.
Okay, so let's get into it, starting with the big picture. If you imagine an organization is, building its own future, then its strategy is the master blueprint for that construction.
So, at its heart, strategic management is really the organization's game plan. It's about asking three huge questions. First, you take a good, hard look in the mirror and ask, okay, who are we right now? Then you look out at the horizon and ask, who do we want to become? And finally, and this is the key part for us, how are we actually going to get there?
Let's just walk through that journey real quick. It all starts with the mission, the why. Why do we even exist? Then you do your analysis. What are our strengths, our weaknesses? What's the competition up to? From there, you set clear, concrete objectives. This all leads to creating specific strategies. But look at that final step, number 5. This is where the rubber meets the road. All that high-level thinking gets turned into real action through projects.
So, if the strategy is our blueprint, then projects are the building blocks. They are the individual bricks, the steel beams, the wiring, everything that turns that paper plan into a real structure. So let's take a closer look at what a project actually is.
This is the textbook definition, and the word I want you to focus on is temporary. A project has a start date and an end date. It's not the day-to-day, keep the lights on work. It's a focused sprint, a one-time effort to create something totally new and unique.
And this comparison really nails the difference. Routine work is all about keeping the business running. Processing payroll, answering customer service calls, restocking shelves. It's what you do over and over. Projects, on the other hand, are about changing the business. They're about launching that new product or building that new factory. They are the agents of change.
So what do all projects have in common? Well, every single one has a clear goal, a specific end date. It almost always has to pull people together from different parts of the company. It's there to create something that didn't exist before, and it's always juggling those classic constraints, time, cost, and quality.
All right, now we get to the real heart of the matter. We've got our blueprint, that's the strategy. We've got our building blocks, those are the projects. Now let's see how we forge that absolutely essential link between the two. This quote right here says it all. Really let this one sink in. Strategy is not some document that just collects dust on a shelf. It comes to life through the projects a company decides to fund and execute. And if a project isn't pushing the company toward its strategic goals, it's not just a distraction, it's actively burning through precious time, money, and talent. To make this totally crystal clear, let's use an example. Imagine a hotel resort decides, okay, our new strategy is to become the #1 destination for ecotourism. That's their blueprint. So what kind of building blocks, what projects would bring that vision to life? What this shows us is that even under one strategy, not all projects are the same. To become an ecotourism leader, that hotel might launch a big strategic project, like building a brand new nature trail that directly supports their new brand. But they'd also need operational projects, like switching the pool heater to solar power to be more efficient and green. And of course, you always have compliance projects, like updating bathrooms to meet new codes that you just have to do. The key is, now this whole mix of projects is being judged through that new ecotourism lens.
This brings up a massive challenge. Organizations always have way more ideas for projects than they have people or money. So how do you get from this flood of ideas to a focused portfolio of the right projects?
This is the million-dollar question for leaders everywhere. You've got limited resources. Do you fund the marketing team's shiny new ad campaign or the IT department's critical system upgrade? What about R&D's wild new idea?
How in the world do you decide what gets the green light?
Well, the answer is you have to start thinking like an investment manager. You don't just pick random stocks, right? You build a balanced portfolio. A project portfolio is the same idea. It's the entire collection of projects a company is running, and the whole goal is to manage them together to get the biggest possible strategic bang for your buck.
You build that portfolio using a formal priority system. This isn't just about picking favorites, it's a disciplined process. A good system forces every single proposed project to prove how it connects back to the company's strategy. It shines a big bright light on those pet projects, the ones that are politically popular but don't add real value. And it makes sure your money and people go to the most important work.
So, what does all of this mean for the person who's actually on the ground? The project manager who is laying the bricks. Why should they care about some high-level blueprint?
Oh, it matters more than you can imagine. If a project manager understands the why behind their project, they can make smarter decisions every single day. When another manager tries to steal a key team member, they can push back and say, "No way, this person is critical to hitting our company's strategic goal." And maybe, most importantly, it connects their daily grind to a bigger purpose. It's the difference between just laying bricks and knowing you're building a cathedral.
And that really brings us to the key takeaway. If your strategy is the destination you want to reach, then your projects are the vehicles that are going to get you there. Without projects, a strategy is just a nice-sounding dream. And with projects that are disconnected from strategy, you're just driving around in circles, burning gas.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to take back with you. Look around at the projects happening in your own organization. Can you draw a clear, straight line from what each project is doing all the way back to the company's main strategy? The answer to that question will tell you pretty much everything about how well your organization is actually building its future. Thanks for watching.